Welcome to another edition of Raggas. Willeklewe, we were there were lots of, well, quite a few, let's call it scouts, looking for talent. And then, I asked myself the question, what do they actually look for? You know, do they look at the team, do they look at players? And if they look at a player, do they look at a position call? And if they look at a position, what aspects do they cover there?
Yeah, I think most of us, and I include myself, I like, let's take a fly half, because that was one of the positions we discussed. I like a fly half that plays flat, that can run at the opponents, nice passes, long passes that can put their guys into spaces. Then you get your fly half that plays out of depth, good hands, nice soft hands playing from there. So you can get 4 fly halves, all brilliant, playing different game plans. And the unfortunate part is a school like Office play a certain type of rugby, and that player, that fly half, will only be able to showcase one of the styles that he plays. Grey College tried this weekend against Paul Gim to play 2 types of games with the one fly half. I think personally Grey College really got into their stride against Paul Gim when they started to play the match that suited their fly half and their normal type of play. There's very little schools that can switch between 2 or 3 game plans. There's very little unions that can actually do that. But the interesting part was when we discussed the fly half position, the scouts or the unions, especially the unions, they want a player that can do both or 3.
For versatility.
For versatility, that's what they're looking for. So they were impressed with the fly half that plays flat and tackle and do all that nice hard physical stuff, but they were also looking for a fly half that can kick the ball from the back, that can dictate with his foot, that's got nice soft hands. So what we're going to do from next week is we've now lined up 3 guys from unions to explain to us what they're looking at per position. The other interesting thing was, do you prefer a small, nippy player at the back, or do you prefer my type of player, 6'1", 6'2", 85, 90, 100 kilos at the back, fast and everything. And one of the interesting remarks was, I prefer the smaller guy because the defensive pattern these days are so good that a big guy can only do one thing. He can run forward with a side step or 2, and that's what he's got to beat the defenders. But a little guy that can use his feet and that kind of stuff can still beat that defender with the feet. Interesting, I don't agree with that. If I'm a scout for somebody, I'm looking for the tall guy. So that's what we're going to try to do. The props, we're going to props, hookers, everything. We're going to explain the 1 or 2 type of hookers you get, and we're going to give you an idea of what the majority of unions are looking for. So if your kid is standard 7 or standard 8 or standard 9, gets a little bit past that date, you know what you can add to your kid, to his playing style and everything, in order to become the type of player that the unions are looking for.
And I think the type of player that can, the more that he can bring to the party, the more they can utilize him, obviously the more they'll look at him.
Yeah, I mean, I sat in a meeting with 3 scouts, or not scouts, 3 representatives from unions, and they all differ what they wanted, and this time it was a lock. So the one union, and that's where it came from, the other discussion we had, it's important if you place your kid or you sign your contract with your kid at a union to understand what are the criteria that union expect from a lock. The Bulls will have a big physical player, where the Sharks will maybe going for a more versatile player that can run with the ball and that kind of stuff. So that's also important. So this is what we will try to do in the next 2-3 weeks. Like I said, unfortunately, your grade 12 and 11 kids, they already passed that. But what you can use then to add to your kit that standard 7 or standard 6, and if you don't understand that, go to a dictionary. I can't remember the new terms.
Grade 8, 9.
Yeah, but you understand, that's what we want to do. So we're not going to play the voice notes that they send me, because then you can maybe recognize the guy, and yeah, not good for them. But so that's what we're going to try to do. If you've got an opinion about that, also send it through to me. You've got my email address. My telephone number apparently is known even to Tannie Johanna at Gatsarand Laerskool, so you are more than welcome to phone me, give me your opinions and everything. So yeah, that's what we're going to try to do the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Very interesting, because I mean we all have our opinions about how a player should play and how a player looks, and you think the player looks great, meanwhile the player is not doing what he's supposed to be doing. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite interesting to learn more about specific positions.
But talent aplenty. South Africa is blessed. I think I made a suggestion: if you take a golf ball and you throw it onto the rugby pitch, when a game was played, it would hit a guy that's brilliant. And I mean, we spoiled, huh?
That was a fantastic tournament.
Great stuff.
All right, keep well. Cheers.
Cheers.